Backseat Drivers time.
Welcome to Backseat Drivers 2024, the first episode. I nearly buggered that up. How could you get that wrong? We've had a long off season and we got plenty to talk about tonight. There's been a lot going on in our personal lives, but we're here to talk about Formula One. So kicking it off, we've got Matthew live from the shed.
It's finished. I'm now a professional podcaster.
Well,
I'm more professional podcaster.
Okay, yeah, we'll accept that. And joining us as well.
I'm like hats.
Hey, we'll get into that in a minute because that was quite interesting where they ended up over the weekend. So to talk about that as well, we've got Booby on tonight.
G'day.
Well, let's kick it off with Haas, not the most disappointing team out there.
Yeah, no.
They're just slightly meet expectations.
Yeah, well, they still disappointed, I suppose, because Hülkenberg put it in the top 10. And you're like, well, this is going to turn to crap. And it certainly did. But overall, they were better than Alpine.
Yeah, but from what it looks like, Dave, I could have rocked up in my car and beaten Alpine.
It is a bit of a concern when you're essentially a factory team. And it's just bad. I don't. Yeah. What else do you say?
It always concerns me when you've come back to school and you're dumber than you were before, and they're like, "What were you doing over the summer break?" Like, and I'll get to this soon, but like in the Drive to Survive, even everyone's favorite ex-principal team principal points it out. He's like, how is it that we're so shit and everyone got better? Like, what have we done? if you come back to school and everyone knows calculus and you're going 2 + 2, that's 7. I got this in the bag. Time to race.
But I think everyone else, like when you compared the times last year, this year, everyone else had actually got faster over the previous 12 months. And yet somehow they went slower, I think.
Did they take a gap year, Dave? Like just find themselves in...
But what's interesting as well, like the head of aerodynamics and someone else, they'd actually... Director. Yeah, like before the car had been released, they're like, yeah, we're done.
They knew, Dave. I think when you're that high up, you can see it. You would have seen like the aerodynamic graphs, and you would have seen a picture of like the wind not getting past the car and going, nah, I'm done. I can't do this.
But it sounds like as well that they'd handed in their resignations like weeks and weeks ago. And they're like, yeah, can you not tell anyone because we kind of don't want everyone else to jump ship.
I've been in a company where the team principal, aka my boss, did that. And wasn't allowed to tell anyone until basically he said, "Oh, I'm coming into the office on Thursday. Also, my last day is Friday, so take that as you will." So I can imagine that the same kind of thing. They like walk in and go, "Hey, Dave, ready for a big season?" You're like, yeah, sure. Anyway, you pass me that cardboard box labeled "my junk" because I need to put it in my car. Also, do you want my old filing cabinet? I no longer need it. Who do I hand my old work laptop into? No reason, just maybe I don't need it today. It does sound like they knew well and truly in advance.
Oh, yeah.
Like if they handed their notice in 3 weeks ago, they've probably known for a month or two before that something's wrong. And then but I thought they got like a whole bunch of money. Didn't everyone invest in them? Hasn't everyone given them money? LeBron James, Wrexham.
Yeah, but part of the problem, you can't just go and spend the money now because of the spending cap, essentially. And then, do these people? I'm not sure on the financial side of things whether I wouldn't have thought they're continually putting in money.
No, but I guess it's if you give them $10 million and they don't know how to spend it, I mean, $10 million is still not going to work.
No, that's it. But I think the
Wrexham's the location. I'm just saying the city of Wrexham they're giving the money.
We're talking about the investors in the team,
Exactly.
not the
I wasn't. I was talking about
not the other sport.
The greater shire of Wrexham. It's just a really generous town that likes to give money to people.
Yes.
So, what the rumours that this is leading for Andretti buyout?
Well, Dave, can we bring this out? So, as you know, I believe that I have cracked the code of the 2026 season.
Yeah,
we're starting Matt's theories already.
Matt's conspiracy theories. Now, Booby, as you know, conspiracy theories, what do you need for a good conspiracy theory?
Not much.
No, you need a cardboard board. So, if you have a look, we've got Lewis Hamilton here.
Yes.
He's leaving to go to the Prancing Horse, but Horny Horner is going to get kicked out, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the year, he's going to be told, you need to step down, spend time with your family, whatever nonsense you need to tell things. Because Ford, I haven't figured that out, has basically said, we can't have a hornbag on our team because you're making the Ford family look bad. Even though the co-owner, the founder of the company was friends with Nazis. Anyway, so he Seb steps in, he becomes the boss. Newey, though, he steps down because he doesn't want to be without his good mate, Horny Horner. He steps down for a year. He goes on and gardens, potters around, races around at Le Mans. Then, over here, we have Checo gets booted out because he's no longer popular because Joss runs the team now. Brings in Dan, he joins Red Bull. Then, there's a spare seat down here at AlphaTauri, Red Bull, Cash App, WhatsApp, Super Team. So we get Liam Lawson and teeny tiny little Yuki. Then Red Bull gets sick of running the team because they've had to pay him out a massive amount of money to leave the team and Yui to leave the team, so they don't have any money. They then sell the team to Mario, who's been secretly working with Porsche, who have been secretly working on the 2026 engine standards, and create a new super team called Super Mario 911. Now, it sounds bad because that team always has to have a really bad team name. So, and then basically, a work in progress, but each week I might add to it.
Matt, you're just missing the string. You're just missing the strings going in between all the pictures.
No, there's string here. If you look, I've got red string.
Oh, okay, there's one.
You need a clearer.
Yeah,
you need that thick.
My inner Charlie from Always Sunny, Dave.
Yeah.
So basically, that's 2026 all summed up, and that's how it's going to work. So Super Mario will get his team, but Red Bull will sell their team because they'll have to because they can't afford it.
Well, I don't think it's.
No, I don't think
Red Bull.
I don't think Red Bull's. Nah, Red Bull. It's not costing Red Bull money. It's not that they can't afford to have both teams running at the same time.
Booby, this ruins my conspiracy, and I spent a good 10 minutes printing those out before this show. You know what?
You need a whiteboard, Matt.
I will get two. I'll have a corkboard for this conspiracy because I've got another one that I'm working on that can go on the whiteboard.
Yep.
I think now with like Oracle and Bybit and that on the car, that and the prize money, it's Red Bull would only possibly be chipping in for like Max's.
Max's
wage.
paycheck.
Do you think Horny Spice will have to step down at the end of the year?
Probably.
So the messages that got leaked, right?
Awkward. Let's start there.
Yeah.
They're awkward as hell if they're real.
That's the thing, and like if they're real, I can understand it. If these are made up ones, it's like, well, this is pretty soft, like made up stuff. It was some flirting between co-workers.
But I think
like it wasn't.
I think he's a married man. He's a man in power. But also it's it's not too bad, but it's just awkward. Like I'd be embarrassed if I had those messages leaked, not because like it looks like I'm trying to cheat on my wife. Mind you, he's married to a Spice Girl, but they're just awkward. Like, I'm at the gym now. Oh, you're wearing leggings. I'm like, Christian, mate, you own an F1 team. You're meant to be cool. Like, I can guarantee now, Toto's never sent a message to his wife going, oh, we should go and have some dinner soon later. No, Toto's cool. Toto wouldn't send memes, and he wouldn't send animated pictures of his like wet finger or something. He'd be classier than that. He's now dropped on my level of cool of like coolest principles.
Definitely. What my question is though, like, how does this stop him from being suitable for the position? Like, it's.
I think
he's a fucking awkward man.
He always has been.
But like
I think it's bad for F1 because I think if you look at it from like the grand thing, it's a like probably one of the most powerful men in F1 behind old Ben of chief of F1.
Yeah,
he's flirting with. I mean, like, do we know where she's on the level of things? Because it sounds like
she was his PA.
That's weird.
The leaked messages were from the PA, but it wasn't like he was saying like, hey, come and suck me off or whatever. And she was like, no, you are a married man. You're in like, it was like, it was a bit like, what would your wife say? And there was like one of the ones, and it seemed to be cut and pasted a bit where certain messages of her replies weren't in there, especially. And I didn't have the time to fine tooth comb it or anything, and bits and pieces seemed disjointed. But it didn't seem like, he'd sent a message and she was like, stop. No, it was back and forward kind of stuff.
I think it's just, if I was like Ford, I'd be like, this is weird because again, like if you're Mercedes or whatever, or Zach, who's now suddenly turned into a big man and thinks he's at the big table, it doesn't look good for the sport. And like who were they talking to? Someone was like saying that it's a predominantly 40-year-old male dominated sport. This doesn't look good if you're trying to get young girls to watch it or females to join F1. Like we do have very smart F1 Red Bull strategists and stuff. But like it's not a good look. I think it's borderline, probably not like illegal or whatever, but it's a really bad look, and it's creepy that this is a 50-year-old man making weird jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that side of things isn't great, but as you said, there was nothing illegal. Morality, not great.
I think it's like a uni professor dating one of his students. It's not illegal, but holy shit,
it's weird as fuck.
It's
that's probably worse though.
Yeah, because the problem is now everyone's, he's going to be under a lot more scrutiny from Red Bull, from the FIA, and more importantly from Jerry. She's going to want to see his phone every time.
Oh yeah.
Because it's
but then also you've got to remember that this is the person who got together with Spicy while he was still married, living with his wife and everything. This isn't.
I mean, yeah,
and that was fine 10 years ago, whenever it happened. Like, but now all of a sudden, something like this is magically a big issue.
We have more proof, and I think the problem is Joss, which is weird because Joss, I think he's been looking for a reason to get rid of Horner. He doesn't like him. And so
I don't understand the end game though from the Verstappens, because why would you want to destabilize the team?
I think Max is in that mindset of I'll stick with Red Bull. I don't care. My boss is a hornbag, whatever. I'm going to win 8 more championships.
Yeah.
If I've got Newey on my team, I basically just have to turn up for the day. Like, I've set it on easy mode. I basically jump in the car. I win 2 hours later, and then I go home. To me, this means nothing. Whereas Joss is sort of like, no, it's ruining the team. You can't do this, you can't do that. And he's probably like, why can't I just race my car? Like, who cares that, my boss is a weirdo? But I think also Ford seems to be upset because it ruins their, family image that people are going to be dealing with as a known.
This is also coming from, as far as I know, someone who beat their wife.
Ford's probably not the first company to like tell people about ethics.
No. I'm talking about Yoss.
Oh no, Yoss is also a piece of work.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure why he's not with Max's mum is because
no. No,
give her a hiding.
Why he's not with his mum is he sacrificed so much for Max to help him win the first championship.
Sacrifice the backhand because she wouldn't listen.
No, over here. Max, good man, Yeah, I reckon. But the thing is, I would stick to Red Bull if it meant, the worst thing that Christian Horner's done is,
but check messages.
It seems strange, like the Yoss is trying to destabilize the whole thing, and then they're talking about going to Mercedes. So I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand what the end game is on that, because how are you destroying Red Bull going to Mercedes? Is that a better option? Like, if I was in that position, I'd be doing everything I can to galvanize Red Bull right now, because there is a threat coming from Ferrari.
Yeah.
Whereas I wouldn't be concerned about what Mercedes is doing and even looking in that direction. I'd be.
I think. Yeah, but Joss is also just living vicariously through his son. Like in his mind, he's like, I want to screw over Red Bull, but also I want my son to win a championship. But also I need Red Bull because they're the only ones that are going to really, help me win a.
Because you look at even like
championships, basically.
Last year, essentially, if Max wasn't with Red Bull, he probably doesn't win the championship. If he's with Ferrari or Mercedes, because Checo still comes second in the championship.
Yeah.
So if you have anyone better than Checo in that car last year,
they would have won the championship.
3/4 of the field, probably.
I was going to say anyone. Well, Rob's not here, so if Dan was in that seat, championship locked.
He's Rob's watching though, Rob.
What a shame.
Yeah.
The whole thing seems very weird. It sounds like the weird thing is though, because Joss was the one that raised the concern. So supposedly the PA was the one that raised it, and then thought, there's no one I can really raise this to because Christian's like the highest court in the land. She raised it to Josh. Josh raised it to Red Bull, I think, and then leaked it to the Dutch media. That's why.
That seems strange as well. Like, wouldn't you? if you'd go to like Helmet or
you'd go to Red Bull Corp as well. You go straight instead of you bypass the F1 team. You go to Red Bull head office.
I think he went to Red Bull Corp, but also decided to leak it because again,
I'm talking about
makes no sense.
No, but why would she go to Yoss instead of going to Red Bull Corporate instead?
I think because getting to Red Bull Corporate would take a lot longer than it would to get to Joss. Because remember, you're Red Bull Racing in, England.
Yep.
Red Bull Corporate is in what, Austria?
Yeah.
Even with emails and back and forth, she's probably just confided to him and just said, look, I'm getting creepy messages from Christian. No, and she probably knows that Josh would be more motivated to push this up the chain as well. Because if she sent it to HR, as we all know, HR is not there to protect her. It's to protect the company. They would have got those emails and looked at them and gone, oh, no, the guy that makes our F1 team really good is up for some charges. I'll just put them over here for now because the F1 season's about to begin and we definitely don't need these right now. And I'll just backdate them till May, when we've wrapped up the championship and there's like 6 races left. Then we'll look into it.
But with that, I don't think there is any charges though. Like, from an HR point of view, like
but HR would have literally just told her, you know, one, we don't need this right now because the season's about to start.
Or
ever. Yeah. HRs are not there to look after the employees. They're there to protect the company. And then, so like she would have raised it with HR and they would have been like, oh, okay, this is really bad for us. I will definitely look into this. And then they'll look into it and be like, what happened? And they go, oh, Christian was sending a bunch of like really awkward messages. He has no game. How did he manage to score a Spice Girl? And they'll be like, I don't know, news to me. Anyway, when do we think Max is going to win the championship? Like May? Can I book my holiday then? Because I don't want to do it to us after that.
Well, if it's going to go the way it is right now, and I'd probably say he might even win. He might even just I reckon just after the summer break, he'll have the championship sewn up if it goes the way it's going.
Yeah, although Ferrari wasn't that far off.
They were close.
Yeah, they were.
So you what he did at Mercedes, Dave, where someone's told him, you need to jump aboard to Ferrari because we've got secret sauce coming.
I think he's probably seen the writing on the wall with Mercedes. I was probably a little bit surprised at how competitive George was this weekend. I was expecting them to be a bit further back. But
George is using this as a job interview. He wants to be number one.
Yeah. And Lewis will be switched off and they're probably already,
he's saying, okay,
holding him back from engineering stuff and whatever as well. So,
and George's car will get all the. If there's any updates throughout the year, George's car will get it all before Lewis's one will. And Lewis will be like, I don't care anyway.
Drive to Survive, but I can tell why Lewis is never going to win another championship because he's hell bent on winning another championship, and he still thinks that it was stolen from him. In the first episode of Drive to Survive, he's basically like, I'm here to get my championship back. Oh, I need my championship. Like, that was mine.
Oh, my God.
Okay, Felipe.
He sounds like Ted Kravitz.
Yeah. The only thing I could is Leclerc really needs to start putting together a bit of consistency.
Yeah, sure. He does. Yeah. He does all the. He's a fast driver. He's quick, but like you said, he just makes stupid mistakes, and he makes them too often. If he can get rid of that from his driving, possibly second in the championship. Leclerc.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Stroll. Sorry, I zoned out.
No, Stroll's a different story. No, Matt, Stroll. Whatever. I think you probably should think he did all right.
This may never happen again this year, but he got turned around at turn 1. He was facing the wrong way.
Yeah.
And he only just ended up behind Alonso in the race.
He did all right.
Which, granted, okay, Alonso's strategy wasn't the best, but he did come from nowhere to just behind Alonso. So, unfortunately, those guys are in no man's land in between the B teams and the
So what? They're the
D
fifth best
teams.
team currently.
Yeah.
Dave, I don't know if you listened to the future Knight of England, but Papa Stroll seems to believe that they are on track to become world champions. This was last year, and I believe he's still believing this year.
Okay.
The only hope for them would be that the Ford thing drops Red Bull back into the masses, and that they can continue to catch McLaren and Ferrari.
Aren't they getting the Honda engines in 26?
Yeah. But you also got to remember that will be a very different Honda to what Red Bulls, they're Honda. Red Bull Hondas at the moment.
Okay.
So these will be Hondas
for 2026 regs.
Yeah. It's not like Ferrari currently that are working on these engines are also then working on the next lot of engines.
Mm-hmm. And the same with Mercedes.
Red Bull Powertrains is working on these Honda engines, and then it will be Honda working on the next lot of Honda engines. It's not it's
I know they won't exactly have the separate
Yeah, it's not a continuation thing.
So it should be interesting then.
Yeah. But that would be their biggest hope, is that the Ford thing falls in a heap and somehow Honda is still at kind of the forefront, and then they have their development similar to what it is now and are in the fight.
I probably have to read the 2026 regs again.
But you also then, with their issues going to be potentially losing Alonso.
Yep.
Where are you going to fill that driver gap, especially if you've got to have Stroll in the other car?
Who knows, by 2026, maybe all the other investors will say, "No, we've got to get rid of your son."
Yeah, they're probably their big hope at the moment would be, say, Alonso goes and stopgaps at Mercedes, and they can pick up Carlos.
They can pick up Carlos, or maybe even pick up there's a couple of F2 champions. There's a couple of F2 champions just sitting in the background as well.
They won't get they'll want another.
Well, they've got Drogovic. They've got Drogovic as their.
Realistically, like Drogovic hasn't been picked up now.
Yeah,
there's a reason. Like
he hasn't been. Yeah,
Nick De Vries, Davide Valsecchi.
Theo Pourchaire is going to be exactly the same as well with Sauber.
Yeah. That's the thing. If they're not being, like, you've got to look at Piastri, who, it wasn't kind of in question that he was going to end up as a Formula One driver. Yeah. Even though he didn't go straight into Formula, he was going to end up there. Whereas there isn't anyone backfilling in there at the moment.
No,
that is definitely,
Except for Antonelli in F2.
How did he do on the weekend? Because I didn't watch any of
I watched it. I think he was mid-table for his first race.
Yeah, because they're already talking about him jumping everybody else who's in F2 at the moment.
Nah, the classic guys there. If anything, Zach Maloney was absolutely brilliant over the weekend.
But no one's talking about any of these guys at the moment. Yeah, everyone's saying essentially Antonelli's the next one to go to Formula One. So,
I'm just checking out the standings for F2.
So Dave,
Antonelli, he scored 1 point on the weekend, and that was in the feature race.
1.
So
So
he
that's
finished
10th.
top 10. So he finished top 10 in the feature race, and not sure what he finished in the sprint race.
So I still think Mercedes being Mercedes, they're going to go for a stopgap to backfill that role rather than putting Antonelli in directly.
No, they won't put him in.
Whether he does as a second year of F2 or whether he gets farmed out to Williams, say, for 12 months, I can't see him being with Mercedes in 25.
Mm-hmm. All right, here I've got it. Antonelli 14th in the sprint race and 10th in the feature race, which is not bad considering.
No. But you're also, what was Piastri's results in his first F2 weekend?
What year did he race? Did he win both races?
No, I don't know, but I'm just, he's kind of the last one to come through.
When was he?
21 it would have been.
21, okay, here we go. Sakia. Well, Liam Lawson won the
Formula 2 came 5th.
They had 2 sprint races back then.
And he came first in the second sprint race.
He came first in the Piastri.
And then 19th in the...
So Piastri won on his first weekend.
Piastri won on his first weekend. So did Lawson as well. And also, the forgotten Chinaman won as well. He won the feature race.
Yeah, but they'd already... That was Piastri's debut weekend.
Okay. Was that Zhou's debut weekend as well, or did he start a year earlier?
I think Zhou did 3 or 4 years in F2.
Did he? Okay.
I think so.
That
definitely wasn't his rookie.
That wasn't his rookie year? I'm just checking.
Yeah, Formula 2 is there for 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
wasn't. That was his second season because he was he had a sprint race win in 2020.
The big difference with, say, Antonelli versus Piastri, though, is that Antonelli skipped F3.
Yeah.
Whereas Piastri did go from whatever, like F4, F3, F2.
I'm just looking at the winners back in 2020. Mick Schumacher.
Yeah.
Mick Schumacher actually was champion that year. And you had
Tsunoda was second, wasn't he?
I think so.
Or was it Schwartzman?
Tsunoda won a few races. Tsunoda definitely won a few races as well. So did Drogovic, Schwartzman. Holy crap, Mazepin won races.
Yeah, Mazepin. He wasn't the worst. Pastor Maldonado won the championship.
At least he won one race.
Romain Grosjean won the championship as well.
Oh my God, our favourite Frenchman. Okay, so there are drivers that come out of there, just that for some unknown reason we're going to would-be hacks at the moment. They should be bringing in youngsters.
I think the problem is though as well, like the teams are very, very reluctant to try new drivers. And then like you had Haas the other year, which took on Schumacher and Mazepin.
Yeah.
With all that, and they're like, it's no good. So now we employ 2 has-beens, and then they didn't crash the car.
How about we get 1 has-been and 1 rookie?
Exactly. At least.
So I can't see either Hülkenberg or Magnussen driving next year at all. There's going to be I reckon there's going to be the Sting market is going to be very spicy this year. The drivers market.
Yeah, I think Haas need to get rid of at least 1.
At least 1, yes.
But then you've got a yardstick though as well. If you do have a rookie coming in, and that was the issue when they brought in Schumacher and Mazepin. nothing to judge them against.
No. But yeah, if you, like you say, if you brought one of them in, if you brought one of them in and you had, say, like an established driver, say you kept Magnussen on there, you raced either Schumacher with Magnussen or Mazepin with him, doesn't matter which one it was, at least that way you've got the established driver, and that way the rookie can base himself on what he needs to do.
You can judge whether they, like what McLaren last year, or, McLaren had Alonso, they brought in Norris, and then you've got a yardstick to judge him at. And then, they brought in, then they had Sainz with Norris for a bit. But then when they brought in Piastri, then you know where Norris is at, so you can judge where Piastri's at. But when you've got two people that you don't really know where they're at, that's where you have the trouble.
Asking, oh, you didn't miss much, Scooter. We basically talked for 20 minutes about
Formula One.
We talked Formula One and all the stuff that was happening at Red Bull. That's all you missed out on.
So you missed the board. The most important thing.
Nigel,
board of conspiracy. Oh no, someone's flapping about.
Have you got a fan on or something, Matt?
I have everything going on in here. I got a fan. I got lights. I got a fridge.
The only thing you're missing is aircon. The only thing he's missing is aircon.
I got aircon. It's got a fan. It's delightful in here.
Yeah, basically.
It's my little.
You're on. Thing. Okay, that's all good. So yeah, back to what was happening. So what do you think about the racing on the weekend? Let's actually talk about the race for once. Like we spent 37 minutes, we haven't talked about a race yet.
Wow.
If we still talk about all the off stuff, like the FIA president being now investigated because of what he said?
We didn't
actually talk. Who knows everything? The fact that he wanted to get rid of points from Alonso. Like I saw the thing. So much stuff on not Facebook, but the other one, Instagram. So much stuff I was reading on that was ridiculous as well. It's just crazy. Like we're falling asleep on race day, but all the shit that's happening off the track is ridiculous.
The thing is, though, like if you take Max out of the equation,
it was a close race.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Like Perez was only just ahead, and you also had Mercedes had cooling issues, and Leclerc had the braking issues.
Yeah. So if you look at it, it was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yuki dive bombing, I think, was the highlight of the race.
Yeah,
I didn't see that because I turned it on and went away. Like I was like, I didn't
even watch that either.
I don't need to hear an interview with Max again talking about how he dominated a race.
Mean his podcast? His podcast?
Max's podcast, or the fact that none of the Ferrari guys rocked up for Sainz, and he's looking around saying, "Where's my people?"
Well, they've given up on you, buddy. I'm sorry.
They've already given up on him, but yet he scored most of the points for the weekend for Ferrari. No, we don't need to hear the Dutch national anthem.
To be honest, I don't even know how it goes. Like I used to.
Trust me,
the German one we had to put up with for years and years and years.
And God Save the King.
Yeah,
Queen would have been Queen back.
Well,
then.
it used to be. Yeah, God Save the Queen.
Okay, it was the God Save the Queen back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd hear them all the time. But yeah, I don't even, because now with the advent of KO, it's so easy to skip things like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Actually, that's one thing. I want to see whether or not I can actually watch the race this year in 4K.
The Australian one?
Yeah. It should be available now. It should have switched over by then.
Need a 4K TV.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I've got a 4K TV.
Wow.
I guess we're going to watch the F1.
More than welcome. Although I'll be there on Friday. I managed to score a free ticket for Friday.
Okay.
From work.
Whereabouts?
It's just general admission.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be walking around.
I'll be there Thursday. I'm not sure if I'm getting any further attendance.
Okay. No, one of the guys at work saying you guys want tickets to the F1, it'll be Friday. I go, yeah, Friday's good. At least I get to see free practice 1 and 2.
That's it. You get to see Formula 1 cars.
Exactly. You don't see them on Thursday.
Yeah. And we can't even go into the supercars pit anymore on the Thursday.
Yeah, I heard about that. That sucks.
Definitely.
Oh, that's crazy.
So, anyway.
Good question, Dave. Did anyone else watch Boovy's favourite news from the past, Drive to Survive?
I haven't watched probably the last 3 seasons.
I didn't I've noticed this, but I'm assuming it's just because Max doesn't want to. Mm-hmm. He doesn't appear in any of Drive to Survive, does he? He just can't be bothered.
I think he said to him last year that he didn't want to partake in it because he wanted to concentrate on racing.
He just wanted to concentrate on winning by 30 seconds instead of...
I don't think he cares about having a public image. I think he just wants to go dominate the race, go home, and play iRacing.
And
jump on the sim.
Get on the simulator.
And hang out with his wife, who he stole off Daniel Kvyat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Another questionable relationship beginning.
And it's all at for some reason it's all at Red Bull.
Yeah, seems to be that. Dave, some of the most amazing things in Drive to Survive was, we all remember Lance Stroll broke his arm a week before the F1. Now, a couple of things, Dave. When you play the old circular thing on the grass with your foot, you've got things in your contract that say you cannot go skiing. Basically. You cannot go skiing. You cannot go mountain bike riding. You can definitely not go mountain bike riding a week before your opening event. So what does Rich Boy do? He goes mountain bike riding and cracks his wrist. Then, I was going to say, then he breaks his arm, right? He then gets flown off to like Switzerland for Super Doctor, fixes his hand, comes back and rides in F1. Then they cut to his dad, who could have just said, "Oh, it's good for him, he rode." No. He overcame adversity. Mind you, Dave, they're saying this on a yacht. So there is his dad, his son, and his mum. They're on a yacht telling about the time that he went mountain bike riding in Italy or something, broke his wrist, got flown for the best medical treatment ever, and then got to drive an F1 car in his dad's team. But he overcame adversity. I'm like, he said this all with a straight face. Like he's doing it. Not like Jenny down the road who's working 2 jobs to cover rent. No, Lance overcame adversity so he could drive his daddy's fast little vroom vroom car. It was just...
It's adversity to them.
It's adversity to them, even though they don't really have a reality.
They are all not like, I think Albon's the only one there that I think is fully aware that Netflix are a bunch of nutcases. He basically even said he was turning to who's his teammate?
The thing, it's not, what the fuck is a kilometer? Logan Sargent.
Oh yeah. He was talking to him and he's like, you know how happy Netflix must be that Dan Ricciardo's there?
I saw that. I've watched clips of it.
It's like, show him spinning out because they're like, they must have basically creamed their pants. And then one episode is just 2 episodes are basically about Dan, and Dan is down there. I found out your favorite Canadian, Dave, 97 world champion. Villeneuve, he's cracking the sads because he's like, Dan Ricciardo's not even that good. He's just really popular. They're just using him to sell the sport. Yes, Villeneuve, of course they are, because they need F1 and Netflix have shown their cards very early on that they need Dan for Drive to Survive. It should be called Dan to Survive, because if Dan's there, you're dead. No one's going to watch it if Dan's not there. He's like, there's plenty of drivers better than him. Yes, Villeneuve, but also there's not many as marketable as him. He may not be the best driver, but he's the driver that's getting people watching the race. No one cares about you. I was just thinking about this, Dave. Common man like myself, I can name Max, winners. Lewis, last winners. Alonso, Schumacher, a couple of in the middle, blah, blah, blah. Most people like me who don't really completely follow would never name Villeneuve in their number 10 champions who won stuff.
No way.
In fact, if you told me he won, I'd be like, no, he didn't. There's no way that man won anything. That man is a born loser.
When you think about it as well, he'd be in the 10 most recent champion list.
He would be, but
he would be.
A regular person, Dave, would say Max, Lewis, Alonso, Vettel, Schumacher, and then after that, it probably gets a bit blurry.
Yeah,
and then if you said Villeneuve won, and they're like, what year? And you're like 97. You go, no, he didn't. That's a trick question. It was someone else.
And then before that, you had Mika, you had Hakkinen as well.
That's what I mean.
Hakkinen was after.
Before that.
Hakkinen was after. Yeah,
one of those weird in the middle, what's his name? Braun Button.
Yes.
Yeah.
If someone said Villeneuve and Button both won a championship, you're like, no, they didn't. One's a made-up name. No one's called Jensen Button.
Okay.
Villeneuve sounds like a fake villain.
Now, Matt, quick question.
Yes.
I've been seeing a lot of memes. Are they true? Danica Patrick, how shit is she in it?
Oh, okay. So here we go. Basically, Danica Patrick and Will, what's his name? Buxton.
Yeah.
Basically, Will comes on and he says insightful things, Bobby. You don't understand. I've learned so much from this man. One, if you win the race, you get maximum points. Also,
wow, that's enlightening.
You want to qualify first in Monaco because it's very hard to overtake because the streets are very narrow, not like the wide open spaces of other tracks. You're not aware of this, but in Monaco, very narrow. Other racetracks, wider. Also, Williams are shit. And Red Bull, good. Okay? There it is. They don't bring a knife to a gunfight. They've brought a spoon. And I guarantee you he didn't write that himself.
Of course not.
He got some. Then they get Danica Patrick to come on. And this is the worst bit, Wolvie. They have Danica Patrick, who is a race car driver. I'll give her that, right? Not an F1, So they go to her and she's like, they'll be feeling the pressure on Saturday or Sunday. It's the biggest race. They all want to win. No, Danica. I reckon Yuki's just they're going, can't wait to get home and play PlayStation. Then they cut to Claire Williams, who's actually run an F1 team, done stuff in an F1 team, an actual proper F1 team. Speak to her and she's like, this is what they'll be doing. It's really hard when two of your drivers are fighting and stuff. Again, stuff that she's experienced. Cut back to Danica Patrick. Car goes real fast. And then they cut back to Will and he's just like, hey!
All right, so it's all true. It's all true.
It's and then the problem is Claire Williams is in it very little. And yet when they do have her in it, it's very good because she basically says, you want your two drivers fighting. You don't want them you've got to make sure that you've got harmony within the team. And then they cut back to Danica, who's just like, I've driven a car really fast before. Thanks, Danica. You've really brought a lot to that conversation. Then they cut back to Will, and he thinks Max really wants to win this race. Oh, no shit, Will. What? You think he just turns up and he goes, I hope I win today?
No, thankfully, I don't like. Thankfully, that's the reason why I don't like watching it because it's the biggest load of bullshit I can consider.
She's not in it that much, but I feel like
it doesn't matter.
they've wasted a lot of time. Like Claire Williams should have been in it a lot more because, you know, her surname should give the hint that she's a, you know,
should know something. Yeah,
you should know. You know, I don't remember seeing Patrick's F1 racing team. Maybe that was in the early 2000s that I missed it and Dave never told me. But I do remember a Williams racing team, and I do remember her being in it, chatting to her dad a lot.
Yep.
So yeah, but it was just it's pretty funny watching it though, because they do. If you only watch Drive to Survive, I can see how you get like a certain view of certain things. But if you watch the races and like remember it, and then you watch it again, you're like, oh yeah, that happened. Not like that though. That unfortunately, Albon should be commentating all the Netflix stuff they do.
I don't know. I've seen clips. He's brilliant.
He dumbs it down so well, and also
oh yeah, he does. Yeah.
Oscar and Norris.
Yep.
I'm sure they're both, when they're together, they are both 18-year-old kids, and they're both being told, you get to drive F1 cars. And they're like, oh, this is the best. Oh, they're like, okay, boys, now we need you to pay attention today. No, I'm driving the F1 car. This is going to be the best. It's hilarious. But also, Gene is great.
Well, okay.
I think they've got him on F1, don't they? They've got him on the commentary team.
Gunter,
yeah.
Yeah.
He's with the German. He's on the German. He's on the German Sky Sports or something. He's doing commentary for that. And
who was the forgotten team principal? What's his name from Alpine?
Otmar.
Yeah,
Otmar.
He's very boring. I'm not a fan of him. I know that he's done it for a while, but
yeah, I think he's not a media personality. He's a go and get the job done.
You know who should, and I've said this before, ex-F1, ex-Ferrari.
Yes, I know which ones you're talking about. Yeah,
they should basically make a Netflix show where they grow wine together. Just two 60-year-old men stomping their feet in a wine barrel. I would watch that for 15 hours straight.
No, there was the other one. Though. Both of them just drive around the Italian countryside tasting wines of different regions.
Yeah. Who was it? Two British comedians did that show called the what's it called? It was a comedy show.
Yeah. No, there was another one too. I think James May did it with another guy as well. Like they just went around everywhere tasting wines as well.
Speaking of other sports, we don't have any e-scooter. I had a look actually recently. There was nothing there. I kind of feel like
we're still doing the F1. While Matt's doing that, are we still going to do F1 tipping this year?
Yes.
Yeah, but I think we just get to make up tips for Rob.
Yep, because he's no longer on here. We can just put whoever. The funny thing is, though, we do that and he wins. That'll be the biggest load of bullshit ever. Unless, Rob, if you are watching, you can submit your tips through the chat, and that way you can have them that way. No?
Booby, you're not going to believe this. Rob just messaged me. Let me just double check.
Oh, good. Okay, Matt, what is his tips?
He just messaged me, and he believes Max isn't winning this year. He's got Yuki to win the championship. I can't show you the screen. Like it's
no, that's fine. I believe you in that. 100% believe you.
But he's got Yuki to win, and he's got it down as a multi-sergeant to win at least 3 races, podium on 5, points on 10.
Oh, great. That's brilliant.
He told me this in private confidence, but I feel like I can share it with you.
That's all good. All right, so what do you think? Because Bahrain, I've just put that down as X's because we didn't have the race there, so that one doesn't count.
All right,
that one doesn't count. So nobody got
Max first.
So no. So judging by what we did last year, we're doing 2nd to 4th again because I had a feeling. Well, that's how we did it last year. I thought let's continue that on 2nd or 4th. Choose 2nd or 4th. bonus points if you get bonus points if you get all of them correct, and also a bonus for picking 10th as well. So we're basically sticking to the same points
Bobby,
methods.
I have a question. Will you be blatantly cheating like you did last year and stealing points from somewhere?
I cannot.
He's not denying.
I don't. I will. I cannot confirm or deny.
So
all right. Who wants to do the tipping first? What's happening? Or you were talking e-scooter?
I'll pick Charlie for second.
Leclerc.
Ooh.
Yep.
Perezzi in third.
Yep.
And Norris fourth.
Oh, that's what I was going to do.
We're still doing the 10th.
10th. 10th. I'll go. Nah. What's his name? Lance. Well, if everyone finishes, they're in no man. They're going to be 9th and 10th again.
Yeah, the way they were going.
Good point.
Yeah.
Somebody called parody on Bulby. All right, Matt.
All right. I'm going to go with Max at first.
Yeah, don't worry that first. It's second or fourth.
That's a given.
That's a given, Matt. That's why we don't. That's why I say
we'll go Fernando. We'll go for him for second. I don't even know why.
Third.
We'll go. You reckon? You know what? I'll go Charles. I'll go Carlos because they picked the other one.
Yep.
We've got to mix them up a bit. And in 10.
No, you've got fourth.
Oh, fourth.
Yeah.
I'm going to take George.
Yep. And 10?
And 10. Oh, Yuki's not getting up there. Or maybe. You know what? I'll go Oscar.
Okay.
Now, do you want Rob's? Because I've got them here. All
right, let's do Rob's.
Rob has picked Yuki on the podium.
Yuki, okay. Is that second? Okay, I'll put Yuki a second.
Yeah. He's got Logan.
So?
Yuki 4 and Yuki 10.
So just all Yuki, okay. All right, done. All right, so
E-Scooter's put in their pick.
Yeah.
Yep. Signs. I'm going Signs for second.
E-Scooter wants to win this year. Oh,
yeah. Someone's playing to win.
I'll go Signs. Okay, Signs, Russell for third, and then I'll go Perez.
If we have someone else in, maybe it's less chance of Booby cheating and trying to win.
Yeah.
All right. Here's mine. So I've got second, I've put Signs. Third, Russell.
Whoa.
Fourth, Perez. And Danny Richter get his first points for the year in 10th.
So Booby doesn't want to win this year, but that's nice.
I'm playing with the heart. I want Danny Richter to get some points.
Did you chuck in e-scooters?
Yeah, I'll put. Yep. Actually, we'll change Rob to e-scooter then.
I'll leave Rob's in as well.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll add some extra. Let me add some extra lines in. And I'll put e-scooter in.
Booby's just adding extra points in for him already. Booby won the sprint competition. He filled in the form the quickest.
All right. Okay, I've got e-scooter. I'll add e-scooter in. Just give me a sec.
Booby's going to add points for him just because he's, filled it in on a Thursday.
Yep. Does anybody know what's happening in the other sports code?
What, IndyCar?
Oh, that's this week too, isn't it?
Yeah, there's lots to talk about. I'm actually a little bit excited about IndyCar. There's lots.
Do tell.
Lots to go. So I lots in
cool
for David Malukas because he did his best Lance Stroll impersonation, but didn't have special Swiss doctors to fix him up quickly. So he's got to sit out a couple of weeks. He did a fair bit of damage. But yeah, IndyCar is actually quite open.
That's good.
Yeah, apparently McLaren were very ominous in the testing, but whether that's true or not.
Ominous.
Ominous. Ooh.
We'll see. I mean, Penske's going to be strong. You've got 5 cars now from Ganassi. In theory, Andretti should be stronger, coming back down to 3 cars. So it's wide open.
Okay, so e-scooter. I mean, you're gonna have to jump on every single time there's a race now because you're officially in the tipping comp now as well.
Yeah, and you don't want to lose points.
Exactly.
Because it's not like he's just going to win anyway.
Hey, I didn't even score a 10, okay? Matt at least scored 110.
Yeah, that's what they always say, just to make it look like you weren't cheating.
Yeah, we'll be changing. He goes, oh, look, Matt getting a 10 sounds slightly ridiculous. Me winning also ridiculous. I see e-scooters going for the Max Verstappen way of winning.
It's 4 a.m. and 4 a.m.
Is it Sunday again?
Sunday, 4 a.m.
Cool. So that means on Sunday morning I get to watch a Formula 1 race, and then Monday morning I get to watch an IndyCar race.
Yes, you do.
Perfect.
Good weekend for Dave.
They even gave us a day off.
I know. Awesome, isn't it?
Yeah. So I can sleep in and watch racing.
Yes, you can.
Perfect.
So with IndyCar this year, Dave, how's it looking? Who do you think? Who are the main teams?
I think like Palo's going to be hard to beat.
Okay.
But yeah, if McLaren are as strong as what they're saying, I mean, you got Rossi and O'Ward. They're going to be, and tough. Then like Will Power, like his wife had a lot of health issues last year, so he was definitely distracted. Whereas this year he's had a more normal, preseason schedule. Newgarden and McLaughlin are going to want to win the championship.
Yep.
Yeah. It's so wide open compared to Formula 1. We go in knowing that Max is going to walk away with it. Whereas, IndyCar.
What? You're going to win this year, right? News to me.
I think so. I'm surprised Max hasn't decided, fuck it, I'll go side mission, try and take out the IndyCar championship too.
Or even...
Do you think he's going to start doing side missions, Dave?
Maybe.
It's going to get boring for him, I think.
Eventually, I reckon he might do the Indy 500 as well. He might just try and do the Triple Crown.
Because I don't think he's like some of the others, not mentioning any names, but when they win by 30 seconds and they're like, I'd really like a challenge, blah, blah, blah. I think
he likes
Max
winning.
I think like Max enjoys the destroying everybody aspect of it. But I think
we've seen him in iRacing, he'll take out someone just for the sake of taking them.
But I think he's probably going to get a bit bored of just turning up and I think he's going to want something else to fill that competition need.
So how many more championships do you think he's going to win before he's like,
I reckon this year and probably next year.
The big thing is if he gets out of his Red Bull contract and goes to Mercedes, this will be his last championship. And then if he stays with Red Bull next year, then the big thing's what happens with the Ford.
Yep.
If that's competitive straight off the bat. So.
And then if they're not competitive, he'll just be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, be like, you know what? For a laugh, I'll just do IndyCar.
Yeah, I think he's quite likely.
He's one of those guys.
He could do something like that where he's just like, fuck it, I'll go and live in America.
I'll race IndyCar, and then once he does IndyCar, he'll be like
the same season as
That's a bit hard. No, it's too hard then. Because you have you've got races. You got you got to qualify. You got to do everything, Matt, on the weekend, and then there's overlapping weekends as well with F1 and IndyCar as well.
Yeah, but say like he could skip Saudi and go and do St. Petersburg this weekend.
Yeah.
And then just like come back for Melbourne, say, because he'll still have 2 wins at the, like by round 3 in Formula One, even after skipping one of the rounds. So he'll probably still be leading the championship.
Possibly, yeah.
That could be an interesting exercise.
It could. Like I said, I could almost imagine.
Look at the calendars and see which ones he could. Yeah,
you look at it's
skip
like
or whatever, and then when you add up all the points, and then see.
Well, if he did what he did, if he got the same amount, if he skipped a few races where IndyCar, actually, there's something for me to check out. If he skipped all the races that IndyCar were on the same weekend, would he have still won the championship or not? There's a study there.
Yeah. That gives Matt something to do tomorrow.
Yes, it does. He's got all the time in the world.
I got to work on the new theme song.
Yes, and you can work out that too, Matt.
Because I was looking at the Triple Crown. He's still got to do 24 hours as well.
So Matt, I can see him like if he gets bored with one of them, he'll switch to another. I reckon Max is going to say, "I want to try and dominate in every single category there is." So once he finishes up in F1,
once he wins the 500, he wins the Triple Crown.
Has he won Le Mans?
No.
Yeah.
Alonso's won Le Mans.
Oh, Alonso has.
Alonso, I'm talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all Alonso's got to do is try and win the 500. But I've got a feeling if Max is going to do it, he'll do it properly, where he'll actually do a full season of IndyCar, try and win the championship along with the 500, and then he'll do WEC, win the championship with his teammates, and then win Le Mans as well.
Would he do another F1?
Sorry,
another F1 driver, or just he'll make his own.
He won't care. No. Whichever team he signs up for, he'll just do it with the drivers that they have there.
Yeah.
And that's
also,
it.
I would like to see him do the 12 hours of Bathurst.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, we heard about that, Scooter.
Dave, man,
It was actually a pretty good weekend, the 12-hour.
Yeah. It looks like you had really good weather until Sunday.
Yeah, and even that wasn't too bad because we had a gazebo thing. So
you're good then.
Hid under that when it was raining, and then it stopped before the end of the race or whatever, so we could pack up and
nice.
Yeah, just the showering situation was a bit.
Oh, did you have to use the camp showers?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
The Monday was all right because there wasn't heaps of people around, so you could actually and you're only talking like 30 seconds, maybe a minute more. But just spending that little bit of it, because you felt so bad because it was such a long queue. So you're in there and you're like kind of thing. And then it was so hot in there because the water temperature was quite good. So you're drying yourself, but there's so much steam. So then by the time you hang your towel back on the hook or whatever, and you try to put like a t-shirt on, it's already wet to you. Yeah, because everything's so steamy in there. And you're like, it feels like I haven't cleaned or. But then on the Monday, because it was nice and quiet, you go in there, spend a couple of extra seconds, washing and drying yourself, and you're like, I feel like a normal person again. So, yeah.
Anyway. That's great.
Yeah. But it was pretty good. And because we got up, obviously, before the start of the race and whatever.
Yep.
And I genuinely watched the race all day. Whereas if I was at home, zero chat. Like I might have got up at some point and watched a replay of the start and then gone and done other stuff and may have watched bits and pieces during the day. But actually being there, I genuinely watched the whole race and it was quite
good.
entertained by it.
You looks like you're in a good spot too, in terms of.
It was reasonable. We were at at Skyline for the start of the race.
Okay.
Or I watched the start from kind of where we had our gazebo, and then the other guys had gone up to Skyline. So I walked up and met with them, and we watched probably the first couple of hours.
Oh, nice.
At Skyline, and then went back to the campsite for a bit and made breakfast and that, and then kind of went back to where we had the gazebo, which was, I'm trying to think what you call it, but like just before the grate.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good spot.
So, yeah. And then, Andrew, no, I didn't hang around, unfortunately. I had to come back for work and things like that. So, would have been probably pretty good to hang around there for the week. And there was like no crowd there for the supercars. So,
it didn't look like it, did it?
It was ridiculous. I was surprised how quiet. Like when I turned up on the Friday for the 12-hour, and the guys who were up there, they were already in the pit area. Like they'd come down to the pit area. So they said, "I'll just meet us, and then we'll go up to the campsite." Yeah. And I parked closer to the entry there than I got there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever it was.
Yep.
I got to Sandown at 7:30 or whatever on the Friday morning last year. I parked further away from the entry at Sandown at 7:30 in the morning on the Friday than what I did at the 12-hour on the Friday, like middle of the afternoon.
Wow.
So, that shows you like the difference in the crowd. And then the supercars the weekend after, you're looking at the TV and you're like, there's no crowd there. Compared to the 12-hour, there's no
Bathurst.
I think the big thing, say, with the supercars was that people would have already committed to the 12-hour like a period of time ago.
Yeah, exactly.
And then with the supercar, you've got a good portion of the crowd that would be like, well, we're committed to going to the 1,000 later on in the year. Yep. So they're like, if I'm going to use my annual leave and my leave pass and all that kind of thing to go to Bathurst to watch supercars, I'm going to go for the 1,000. So
you're not going to go for the 500.
That's it. So that would have
that would have sucked too. Like if you look at that, like if you like you said, there was hardly anybody up there, and that maybe they might have to reconsider where the opening race would go next year.
Well, with this year, it was only a stopgap because of the Newcastle.
Okay, so where do you think they'll be going next then? Where do you think they'll go?
Gut feel, I think it'll be at Bathurst again next year because they won't have an event up and running. I think, 2025, they'll have something else. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
That's all.
Anyway, I think we've
basically covered everything.
Hardly anything. There's racing this weekend. And,
exactly.
We'll be back next week to cover off nothing again.
And tell me what you want on the board. This is going to be my new thing. Look at the board. Look, I'm especially proud of Tiny Yuki. See? There's Liam, and there's teeny tiny Yuki.
No, that's the scale.
That is the scale. In fact, that might be too big.
Life size.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
We'll cut out of this.
We'll see you next week, and we'll talk a bit more IndyCar and Horner's awkward text messages.
Exactly.
Oh, it's going to be fun next week. They're going to do more footage of him holding Jerry's hand to show that they're a, they're
united front.
They're a united front, and Jerry's definitely not like said, "Where's your other phones? I need to see 3 other phones that you have."
It's all good.
This is my work one. You can't look at that. It's got secret Newey drawings on it. It's only eyes for me.
All right.
We'll see you next time, everyone.
See you. Bye-bye.